Lately, I've been thinking about something that is genuinely concerning to me, not just in Nigeria, but especially among many young people. I've noticed that a growing distrust of almost every traditional institution. People are questioning the church, they are questioning education, they are questioning government, they are questioning leadership, they're even questioning family itself. Now, some of those questions are valid, very valid, because we've seen corruption, we've seen failed leadership, we've seen religious hypocrisy, we've seen systems that have consistently disappointed people. And so I do understand why these questions, very hard questions, I understand why they are coming. But I beg to shift our perspective a little bit. There's a question that we need to ask ourselves. When we reject one foundation, what replaces that foundation? Because I understand that human beings don't live without a belief system. You got to believe in something. So if you stop believing in one thing, we naturally begin to organize our lives around something else. And honestly, I worry that for many people today, that something else is money. When we put money at such high level, highest value to some people, to say it's just all about money, some things begin to change in our lives and society. We see the uprising of the Yahoo culture, the Olodo culture, as people are talking about today. You see that pressure amongst people, young people especially, to blow at all costs. You see people who start measuring success with what they own rather than who they are. And sometimes even education becomes less about learning and more about getting paid. Leadership becomes a business instead of being a responsibility. So the question is no longer, is this right? Does it pay? That's a dangerous shift if you ask me. Because society, I believe, cannot survive if every doctor, every banker, every engineer, teacher, business person, entrepreneur, pastor, politician, name them, are driven only by money. Because at some point, someone has to care about what is the truth. Someone has to care about competence, about service, about people, for crying out loud. That's why I think the biggest battle of our generation is not between religion and non-religion. No. As for religion, if you reject Christianity or whatever religion, you're going to be replacing with something else. So I think it's more about values. It's more about what sits in the top of our lives. So you stop going to church, you start worshiping money. So you can do anything as a young lady, as a young man, anything as far as it pays. That's a problem. Because whatever we place there eventually shape the kind of families we will build, the kind of leaders we produce, the kind of nation that we become. Now, this is a conversation that I genuinely am open to have with as many people as possible. What do you think are the major drivers of this distrust? And how do we ensure that this existential threat to our human existence is controlled and mitigated?